Welcome to VNT. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In the frozen expanse of the Arctic, a remarkable partnership is taking shape between China and Russia. Once rivals in the far north, these two global powers are now forging a powerful alliance, united by shared ambitions and the promise of untapped opportunity. Their collaboration is not just about politics, it's about transforming the very landscape of global trade. Together, they are working to turn the Northern Sea Route, a passage once considered impassable for much of the year, into a major commercial artery. This icy corridor, stretching across the top of the world, is being reimagined as a vital shortcut for international shipping. Their ambitious Polar Silk Road project aims to connect Asia and Europe through a 13,000-kilometer maritime corridor. By navigating the Arctic, ships can bypass traditional routes like the Suez Canal, dramatically reducing both travel distance and time. This new route has the potential to reshape global shipping patterns, offering a faster, more efficient link between the world's largest markets. In October 2025, both nations approved a sweeping plan to expand shipments along this route, marking a historic moment in their cooperation. The agreement includes joint investments, technology sharing, and a commitment to building the infrastructure needed to support year-round navigation. For Russia, the Arctic represents a vast frontier of natural wealth. By opening up these waters, Russia can monetize its immense reserves of oil, natural gas, and minerals, exporting them directly to Asian and European markets. The economic stakes are enormous, and the potential rewards could reshape Russia's role in the global economy. For China, the Northern Sea Route offers a strategic advantage, a much faster route to Europe, and a key milestone in its Belt and Road Initiative. By cutting weeks off shipping times, Chinese goods can reach European consumers more quickly and at lower cost, strengthening China's position as a global trade powerhouse. The launch of China's first dedicated Arctic Express cargo ship in October 2025 was a landmark achievement. This vessel, specially designed to withstand the harsh Arctic conditions, proved the route's viability by slashing transit times from 40 days to just 18. The success of this maiden voyage has inspired confidence in the future of Arctic shipping. This bold initiative is a direct response to shifting geopolitics and a rapidly changing climate. As Arctic ice recedes, new opportunities and new risks are emerging. China and Russia are pooling their resources, expertise, and technology to overcome the region's formidable challenges and to challenge the old order of maritime trade dominated by Western powers. By building new ports, deploying powerful nuclear icebreakers, and modernizing logistics hubs along the route, both countries are betting that the Arctic will become the next global trade hub. Their investments are laying the groundwork for a future where the top of the world is bustling with economic activity. The Polar Silk Road is no longer a distant vision, it's rapidly becoming reality. As China and Russia push forward, the world is watching closely, aware that the balance of global trade may soon shift toward the Arctic's icy frontier. The Northern Sea Route's true value lies in its ability to bypass some of the world's most congested and vulnerable maritime chokepoints, offering a new path for global trade. As climate change gradually melts Arctic ice, this once impossible passage is becoming increasingly navigable, opening up opportunities that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. Traditional routes like the Suez Canal and Strait of Malacca are not only prone to severe congestion, but also face persistent threats from piracy, terrorism, and political instability. These narrow passages are critical arteries for global commerce, yet their vulnerability means that a single incident can disrupt supply chains worldwide, causing delays and economic losses. Recent crises, such as the infamous Suez Canal blockage and escalating attacks in the Red Sea, have dramatically exposed just how fragile and easily disrupted global shipping can be. These events have sent shockwaves through international markets, highlighting the urgent need for alternative routes. The Arctic route now offers China and Russia a strategic bypass, allowing them to reduce their reliance on US-controlled waters and Western-dominated choke points. This newfound autonomy grants both nations greater control over their trade flows and strengthens their geopolitical influence in the region. For Russia, the Northern Sea Route is more than just a shortcut. It's a vital lifeline to Asian markets, transforming geographic isolation into a source of economic strength. By leveraging its Arctic coastline, Russia is positioning itself as a key player in the future of global shipping. The NSR is more than a shipping lane. It's a powerful geopolitical tool, enabling both China and Russia to challenge the existing world order and promote a more multipolar global system. It's a stage for new alliances and shifting balances of power. By investing heavily in Arctic-capable fleets, advanced icebreakers, and robust infrastructure, both nations are not only securing their own trade, but also insulating their economies from Western pressure and potential sanctions. The Northern Sea Route is rapidly becoming a symbol of resilience and ambition in a changing world. Traffic along the Northern Sea Route is booming, driven by the deepening Russia-China economic partnership. In 2024, shipments hit nearly 38 million tons, with 2025 on track to break records. Most cargo flows eastbound: oil, LNG, iron ore, and coal from Russia to China. Container traffic is surging, with new Chinese liner services set to reach major European ports. The NSR is evolving from a niche resource channel into a full-fledged commercial highway. Other Asian nations, like South Korea, are eyeing Arctic pilot voyages, signaling the route's growing global appeal. The Arctic is fast becoming a new axis of international trade. Russia controls the Northern Sea Route, with most of the passage running through its territorial waters. Rosatom, Russia's atomic energy giant, oversees the route's development, from icebreaking to port expansion. Russia's unmatched fleet of nuclear icebreakers keeps the lanes open, even in harsh conditions. Massive investments in Arctic ports and logistics hubs are transforming the region into a strategic stronghold. Foreign ships must use Russian services, giving Moscow leverage over global trade flows. For China, this partnership secures access. For Russia, it brings investment and cargo volume. Together, they're cementing Russia's role as the Arctic's gatekeeper. The Northern Sea Route remains one of the world's most hazardous passages. Extreme weather, shifting ice, and sparse safety infrastructure make navigation perilous. Even with icebreakers, many ships lack proper ice-class protection, raising the risk of disaster. Search and rescue capabilities are limited, and help can be days away. Insurance costs are high, deterring some shippers. Increased traffic threatens the fragile Arctic ecosystem. An oil spill here would be catastrophic. Black carbon emissions from ships accelerate ice melt, creating a dangerous feedback loop. The push for year-round navigation intensifies these risks, demanding better technology and emergency response. The Northern Sea Route's rise is a direct result of climate change. Arctic ice is vanishing at record speed. Once, this region was locked in ice for most of the year, a frozen barrier that kept explorers and traders at bay. But now, the Arctic is transforming before our eyes. With each passing year, bringing thinner ice and longer periods of open water. The changes are so dramatic that what was once considered impossible is now routine. Longer ice-free summers have opened the region to shipping, turning a centuries-old dream into reality. Ships can now traverse routes that were once the stuff of legend, cutting weeks off traditional journeys between Europe and Asia. The Northern Sea Route is no longer just a line on a map. It's a bustling corridor of commerce, drawing the attention of global shipping giants and ambitious nations alike. The melting ice is both an enabler and a warning. Shipping here accelerates the very warming that makes it possible. Every vessel that passes through leaves a mark, disturbing fragile ecosystems and releasing pollutants into an environment already under stress. The paradox is stark. The more accessible the Arctic becomes, the more vulnerable it is to irreversible damage. Black carbon and greenhouse gas emissions from ships worsen the cycle, threatening the Arctic's stability. These pollutants darken the ice, causing it to absorb more heat and melt even faster. The feedback loop is relentless, amplifying the effects of climate change and putting the entire region at risk. For Russia and China, the economic and strategic gains are too tempting to ignore. Control over this new maritime highway promises faster trade, new markets, and geopolitical leverage. Both nations are investing heavily in icebreakers, ports, and infrastructure, eager to secure their place in the Arctic's unfolding story. Environmentalists warn that industrializing the Arctic is a reckless gamble with the planet's climate. They argue that short-term profits could come at the cost of long-term planetary health, as increased shipping and resource extraction threaten unique wildlife and accelerate global warming. The NSR embodies a central conflict: short-term profit versus long-term sustainability. The world must now decide whether to prioritize economic opportunity or the preservation of one of Earth's last great wildernesses. The future of the Arctic and the world hangs in the balance. What happens here will echo far beyond the polar circle, shaping the fate of our climate, our oceans, and generations yet to come. The The West is watching the Arctic shift with growing concern. The US and Europe see the NSR as a challenge to their influence and a threat to established trade routes. Western nations are boosting their icebreaker fleets and Arctic presence to counter Russia's dominance. Economic sanctions, like the UK's ban on Russian LNG shipping, aim to disrupt the NSR's growth. The Arctic is becoming a new arena for great power rivalry, with trade, security, and the environment at stake. The West must balance environmental protection, indigenous rights, and security as the Arctic opens up. As the ice melts, the race for the high north is just beginning.